Hi, boys and girls. Hey, our Unit 3 in our Nat Geo has been all about animals. We've had stories about farm animals and wild animals. And so I've got one more book to read to you, and then we can finish up our Unit 3, and we're going to move on to Unit 4 this week. This is a beautiful book. I just love all the Nat Geo books, but this big book is called A World of Animals. Okay, has beautiful pictures, but it is a really big book, so I might have to scoot back a little bit like that. Okay, A World of Animals. Now, what it's about animals that live around the world, and then it shows you the photographers that go to wherever they live to take photographs, beautiful photographs of the animals, so that we can learn about the animals in science books. Okay, the first page says, animals are everywhere, and people like Kagan travel the world to study animals. He studies birds. So this is showing you a beautiful, colorful bird. It doesn't look like it says the name of the bird. What the words do say is just shows you the beak and the wings and the leg. Okay, and here's some other beautiful birds. Okay, and then this is Kagan. This is the scientist who studies the birds. Okay, Kagan. There we go. Okay, let me turn the page. Insects also live all over the world. Darlene has photographed hundreds of the insects. Now here's just a quick little picture of an insect. Not sure what that is. I think it's a spittlebug. Okay, insects have a head. And this one has wings, legs, 6 legs, of course, 3 body parts. Okay, here's some other insects. Okay, there's a beautiful butterfly. And then this is Darlene, and she's the person who has a special camera and goes around and photographs those insects so that we can have beautiful pictures like this to learn about them. Okay. You can find animals in the air and in the sea. Sylvia studies the world's oceans. Okay, I'll show you a picture of her, but first I'm going to show you the picture of this. You guys know what that is, don't you? A whale, an orca whale. Okay, and it shows you there the fin, the dorsal fin that's coming out of the water. That whale is doing something called breaching, coming up, flipping over, going back down. And then here's the photographer. Okay, and here's a picture of the photographer. She goes all over the world and takes pictures underwater. She has a special, she's got scuba dive, oxygen and a tank and a mask, and she can swim underwater with her camera and take beautiful pictures, so we can learn about fish and whales and animals all over the world. Mariana wants to protect ocean animals. She studies sea turtles. Oh, this is a beautiful picture of a sea turtle. Okay, there's the arrows pointing to the flipper and the shell. Her name is Mariana, I think. Mariana, and she is studying the sea turtles. Boys and girls, do you think that would be a fun job to go all over the world and photograph and study animals? I think it would be. Paul goes to cold places to photograph polar bears. So here's a polar bear right here, all full of fur. He's on some ice. Oh, I bet that water is cold, huh? There he is. Okay, so aren't those just beautiful, gorgeous pictures? I know it's hard to see them in the big book in the camera, but here, his name is Paul, and here's a picture of him. He has a big parka on. He's got a nice warm jacket and hat and everything, and he's all bundled up, and then here he is in a snowsuit, and he's got a special camera so that he can take pictures of polar bears. I wonder if he takes pictures of penguins too. I bet he does. Some animals are hard to find. Steve climbs huge mountains to take pictures of snow leopards. There's a beautiful picture of a snow leopard. And that's not an easy job. He's a photographer, but he's not just photographing, pretty flowers and trees. He's going to the jungle and taking pictures of wild animals. Here's a picture of him. And here he is with his special camera. Here he is hiding. Okay, he's hiding, taking pictures of the wild animals. A snow leopard. Some wild animals need help. Mishak helps baby elephants. He cares for them at an elephant orphanage. Oh, look at this. So I don't know if he's a vet, but that's what he's there to do. He's there to help animals that need help. So an orphan would be a little baby elephant who doesn't have a mommy. So he probably needs help finding food. So Mishak is his name, and that's his job, to help animals. There's a picture of him. And let's see here. Okay, now it is going to show us. It says, animals live in the air, the ocean, and on the land. They live where it is hot and where it is cold. People care for some animals. Other animals are wild. There's a world of animals to learn about. Get ready to explore. So they're showing you North America is where we live, right here. America. That's where you found the insect and the whale. And then this sea turtle came from South America. And then here are the polar bears and the snow leopard and the bird and the elephant down here in Africa. Okay, so that is that book. That's a beautiful book. And then I have one more thing I need to read to you. And this actually comes from the teacher's manual. I had to get this at school on Saturday because I didn't have it at home. But this is just a little poem, okay? And it's called A House for Me. It's really cute and it's short. Okay, I gotta put my glasses on here. A fish in a school, a squirrel in a tree, a barn for a mule, but what about me? A sheep in a pen, a whale in the sea, a bear in its den, but what about me? A snake in a hole, a bird in a nest, a hole for a mole, but which one is best? A cave for a bat, a hive for a bee, a bed for a cat, and a house for me. So they're talking about all the different houses that the animals live in, but what about me? What about us? We can't live in the wild, we can't live in the ocean, we can't live in a hole or a cave, so we have to live in a nice house like that. Okay, so now I want you guys to get out your workbook. This is the last page. We didn't have time to do this last week. I'm going to get this a little bit closer to the table here. Okay, it is on the bottom. You'll see page 39, Unit 3, page 39. Now, this one here just says to read the sentences and draw a picture to go with it. And so if we read this together, there's a lot of sound out words and a lot of sight words. Excuse me, boys and girls, I think I'm going to sneeze. Nope. A ram can look like this. Okay, remember the picture about a ram? Like a ram? Oh, I wish I had that book sitting here, but I don't. I remember what the ram looked like, though. I'm going to draw a body and a head. I'm going to make a happy ram, and I'm going to make the horns. The horns are going to be the big one, right? That's how I know that's a ram and not just a regular sheep. And our ram was kind of on a mountain. A ram can look like this. Now this sentence we're going to say a rat. It's not ram anymore, it's rat. A rat can look like this. Make a little rat. A head, some ears, and a long tail, right? And we have had a lot of books, stories about animals in chapter 3, okay? It says the ram ran like this. So I think I'm going to make him running up the mountain here. So he's going to be running. So I've got to draw, here's the horns. Okay, and I got to make his feet look like they're running. So he's trying to get up that mountain, so he's running. He's got one foot here. All right, that might not be the best, but okay. So it looked like he's running up the mountain. Okay, and then it says the rat ran like this. So boys and girls, this is just our words that we've had. We can sound them out, and then there's all the sight words that we've had too. The rat ran like this. So I don't know how you could make a rat running. It's hard to make it look like a rat is running. You guys might do a better job than me. Okay, he is running. Maybe I can go boom, boom, boom. I do the little lines like that. Looks like he's like running. How about an arrow? He's running this way. Okay, now on the back of this it says, we're going to compare those two stories. The World of Animals was the big book I just read, and then The House for Me. It says, have children draw and write about one way the selections are alike. So the little one that I just read, that was about all the different places that animals live. And then the big one, The World of Animals, was about all the places that animals live, right? So how are they alike? Well, I noticed in this poem, it says, a sheep lives in a pen, a whale in the sea. Do you remember then also in the big book it says a whale lives in the sea? Okay, so how about we do that? I'm going to draw the ocean. And here's the sunshine. And it says, how are those stories alike? They both talk about where animals live. So I'm going to draw my whale jumping out of the water, breaching. Here's the spout. All right. And here's the fin. Okay. All right. And this one says, there we go. So I got my whale. So both stories had a whale in it. The World of Animals and A House for Me had a whale in there. It had where different insects live and animals live. The bear lives in a den, a snake in a hole, the bird in a nest. Okay, a bat lives in a cave. The bee lives in a hive. Both stories talked about insects and about where animals live. So I think you can just pick out one of those animals that you learned about and where they live and draw a picture of that. Okay, that's it.